How we doing, everyone? My name is Michael Warden, and if you're new here, I gotta say it's a pleasure to meet you. And for what I'm about to be building here today is going to be the Lego Disney Beauty and the Beast Castle. Well, let me say, as a fan of Disney and a Disney adult, I am super stoked that they have this set out. I can't believe when I saw it myself. And the set number for this set is 43263, and the piece count in this set is 2,916 pieces. And with that, let's get to building. The Lego Beauty and the Beast set came with 2 instruction books. There is a total of 21 bags in this set, with book 1 starting at bag 1, going up to bag 11, and book 2 starting at bag 12 and going up to bag 21. Bag 1 had me building the famous scene from the movie where Belle and the Beast meet on the stairwell within the castle. Also, bag 1 had me put together Belle in her beautiful yellow dress. By the way, this piece here that I'm showcasing here real quick, I honestly have never seen it. I kind of feel like it's like a new element or something. And so I kind of thought it was pretty neat to showcase to you. But if you've seen it in a set, let me know. In the second bag of this set, we come across 2 buildable figures. One buildable figure is Cogsworth. The other buildable figure is Lemire. also come across another minifigure. His name is Maurice, who is Belle's father. Now, here with bag 3, we start to build the ballroom that Belle and the Beast danced in. Now with bag 4, we start to build pretty much more on top of the base, pretty much building like, the doors and stuff, especially, we're kind of building on front of the castle. With bag 5, we are still building on the front of the base of the castle. But what we are building on the front base of the castle from bag 5 is we are building what they call 2 snot cores. These snot cores are what give the castle its pillar-like look. Also in bag 5, there is another buildable figure, and that buildable figure is Sultan, the dog that's also in the form of a kickstool, I think? I don't know, let me know. Forgot to mention, in bag 5, I'm also adding more to the ballroom. So here I am on step 92. And in part of step 92, I had to use a 2x4 brick to stack on top of both of the SNOT cores. But as you can see here, I had an issue with trying to see why the one 2x4 brick was not lining up correctly with one of the SNOT cores. Well, I had to go back in my instruction booklet. You're going to be hearing me flip through this book here. I remember missing a 2x4 plate, which is on step 84, and I had to fix that. That was one of the major steps that I missed during this build. Well, let me know, did you miss any steps at all during this building process at all? Let me know. We also got to come across the Beast in bag 5. Yet again, that is something that I almost forgot to mention. But as you can tell, I built him near the end of bag 5. So at this point, as you can tell, you know, we're just building more on top, you know, kind of building, the castle up and stuff. But with bag 6, they had me building like a nice little curtain rod system. So when I go to slide that little mini famous scene with Belle and the Beast, when he slide it in there, the building of that curtain rod system right there kind of helps, you know, give more of the aesthetic of the famous scene piece right there. Also, they also had me building like more, you know, pieces to help bond stuff on top to help secure it. Bag 7 had me building more on top of the SNOT core that's to the left when you're looking to the front of the castle. And not only am I adding more to the SNOT core on the left, but I'm adding some of the plate work to give that one pillar on the left that rounding look. Bag 8 is pretty much the same thing as bag 7. You're adding more to the SNOT core, and on top of that, we're also building the plate work, which also gives that SNOT core its rounding look, which also gives, you know, the pillar look in front of the castle. up here on what I thought was me having a Lego building crisis. I thought that I lost, or was missing, not lost, missing a Lego piece. I thought, gosh darn it, here I am doing this, and I am missing a Lego piece. I'm like, this is gonna ruin it for me all. And I'm like, man alive. As you can see, I kind of have a panicky moment. You know, I kind of stopped building, and eventually at some point I point to where I actually find where I misplaced a piece. So it was more of, let's just say, a builder's error. And yeah, it just sucked. I freaked out for a second, but thankfully I found the piece that I misplaced, and I was able to build this castle the way that it's supposed to be built according to the book. Bag 9, here we focus more on the ballroom, you know, building on top and building, you know, more on the interior of the ballroom. And as I was building like these, like, you know, like more of the droopy blue curtains, there was a part, as you can see, I was struggling to get one of the droopy curtains in. I was struggling to make it fit, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. Well, I know it's called like a 5:2 ratio, or like the golden ratio pieces on the side. I had it up too high, and so what I had to do to fix that is I had to take it and pull it out and kind of lower it, put it to where it's supposed to be, so I can put the curtain piece in properly. Here, I just built a neat looking topper for the pillar on the left with bag 10. the same concept with bag 10. Bag 11, I'm just building more of the toppers for the ballroom and for the other pillar. Like I said before, here we are starting bag number 12, which is also the start of book 2. And pretty much, you know, as you pay attention, as you watch, I'm going to be building, you know, the different segments and the different, you know, top parts of the castle, the different little, like, module parts, I guess I could say could be more appropriate. I'm really not too sure on what you would call it when you're building the different sections of the castle. But yeah, you'll see that as we go here. With bag 13, we're pretty much building on what we started in bag 12. And we're basically just building like little different kitchen parts and the little different kitchen characters and stuff like that. And I would like to ask you, in this kitchen, would you like to be my guest? Let me know down in the comments down below. Just like bag 13, and just with like what I said, bag 14 here, we're still adding to what we started with bag 12, which is nothing new here, obviously. We're basically adding stuff that can move and dance in this kitchen. And I think we all know what that's pretty much alluding to if you've seen the Beauty and the Beast movie. But yet again, would you like to be my guest? in this kitchen at this dining table? Let me know. Bag 15 here, we pretty much finish off this section of the castle. We're kind of, adding, some topper pieces and stuff, and it kind of gives it that neat looking, I think they call it like that Gothic style look, which is really neat looking. You can see here as I add like the green pieces and stuff, it's really, neat and whatnot, and we're kind of finishing off this portion of the castle here. So if you see me here, starting to flip-flop back and forth between the pages here in the instruction book, I didn't know what they wanted me to do. It kind of got to me a little bit. I didn't know what they wanted me to do, and then it dawned on me. Oh, they wanted me to take this portion of this portion of the castle that I'm working on, and add it to the main build of the castle. Silly me, I didn't know why I couldn't think of that real quickly, but yeah, I had a bit of a, builder operator moment, should you say. With bag 16, we are now adding the next portion of the castle, the next top piece that goes above of what bag 12 started. And pretty much here, this is where we start to get near the end of this Beauty and the Beast castle set build. Here at bag 17, I build the library portion of this castle. obviously with bag 18, you know, what we're building is just adding more to this part of the castle of this, I want to say, like, is it called a modular when it comes in sections? I don't really know. I'm just going to call it the modular section of the castle. And not only that, but also, we also come across the minifigure with non-posable legs. His name is LeFou. He is Gaston's little sidekick. And they have him, you know, holding like a torch with a flame on it. And I'm also building another little character who is actually not mentioned on the box. She is the broom that talks, named Fifi. And yeah, so that's what we come across in bag 18. I almost forgot to mention, and I don't know the name, but I also built a dresser that talks. I think it's the dresser, or it's like a wardrobe that holds Belle. I want to say it holds Belle's yellow dress. Yeah, I almost forgot about that character, but I don't know the character's name. With the start of bag 19 has me building a roof topper, which goes on top of this portion of the castle, which is going to obviously be the very top of it, obviously. But what's really neat about this roof topper is that it's a storage compartment for the beast's wig, which you build like a little bust so that you can put the wig on. And let's say you wanted to switch out the beast's headpiece and transform him into the handsome version of him, which I don't know his real name, but if you wanted to switch between the beast version and the handsome version, you kind of have that. But what's also really neat is that you also have a little storage compartment for that. Obviously here, this is bag 20, and bag 20, I'm just building pretty much like that same thing that's got the little storage compartment, but it just goes on the other side. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm the only one that hates it, but when sets come with stickers, I am not a big fan. And when I do the very last sticker, it feels so good to put it on. And I'm so happy I'm done with it. It makes me so happy. Here we are. We made it to the last bag, bag 21. And pretty much I'm building like the other side. I'm kind of like finishing it off with, building like the little details and stuff. And I also build like a chimney and whatnot. And yeah. Also, with bag 21, which I almost forgot, is we also built everyone's favorite guy, Gaston. I mean, how could I forget him? I mean, everyone wants to be like him. This here is another moment where I pretty much, as you guys can see, I finish up the build, but if you notice I flip flop between pages, and I actually went from the starting page of bag 21 and literally tried to like figure out on what I missed, because if you can see on the table, I got left over a 2x2 plate rounded piece. And that's a piece that's usually not like left behind. And I thought that was like really strange. And you're going to see it. I do it quite a few times. I go and I look and I try looking through every single step to see like what the heck did I miss. I looked at every single piece that I put together and built. I'm like, what the heck did I miss? And I think I honestly kind of just got lucky with an extra 2x2 round plate. That's gonna do it right here for the Lego Disney Beauty and the Beast castle. The set number for this build, like I said before in the beginning, is 43263, and the total piece count is 2,916 pieces, which for the price point for the set and the piece count is not that bad. And this here is the whole castle, very nice looking. And obviously with the interior, I'm going to bring you guys in the back of the castle. Obviously this is part of that famous scene, whatnot. Very nice looking interior. The little spinning room there, where the Beast and Belle dance. Also here are all the minifigures that I put together. Obviously as they're all scattered in their various bags where they were located. But, like I said before, that's going to do it here. If you liked what you saw and you enjoyed the whole experience of me building the Lego Disney Beauty and the Beast castle, then please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So thanks.